Sounds of rocks crumbling echo as the fight between the two Kamui fighters engaged in combat escalated. Gusts of wind explode violently with the screams of unfortunate bystanders within range of the blast. These sounds make themselves well broadcasted to anyone within the courtyard, until the click of Satsuki Kiryuin's heel outshines all of the surrounding sound, matching how her literal light burns brighter than the sun itself. Everything is silent now, accompanied with her exhorted breath. Satsuki was being challenged for the first time ever. She smiled, starting to enjoy it. The silence is abruptly cut off as Satsuki clamps her grip onto her sword. Bakuzan. Now, it's gotten interesting, Satsuki said with a hint of excitement in her voice. Ryuko readies her stance. The true fight now beginning. As the two clash, more explosive bursts of shockwaves occur, shaking Han City to its very core. The force was so strong that it created ripples of water within Tokyo Bay, which soon started to carry waves. The JIME Japanese Meteorological Agency took notice of this. Sir, there's seismic activity in the Bay of Tokyo, a scientist shouted, not realizing that the worst was yet to come. Hooah! Power soars from the depths of Ryuko and Satsuki's hearts just before their blades clash. Within a second, an enormous explosion erupts, releasing a large amount of kinetic energy that sends thousands of Hanji students flying. Even the Elite Four are appalled by such power. More ripples from Han City cause further ripples in the water, forming larger waves. The ripples of water slam into the nearby shore, nearly washing away beachgoers and civilians driving by on the road. Local heroes sprung into action, saving as many people from drowning as they can. The seismic blasts are off the charts. And it's all coming from Han City, one scientist shouted as they viewed the tracker, while another grabbed a phone to call the Public Safety Commission of Japan. All sources of the seismic activity are reported to be from Han City, sir. It's like a war zone over there. The administrator of the Public Safety Commission scoffed as his call wrapped up with the JIME, preparing to mac. Never did trust those Hanji folk. Better send in the cavalry to take a look at what is happening. The administrator would make another dial. There was only one person who's skilled enough to go undercover. Just an hour later, Keigo Takami, the wing hero, Hawks, was flying over the private island, which housed Han City. His mission was to scout Han City and pick up any intel on where the sudden seismic activity originating from the island came from. Ooh, what a view. I do love traveling, he commented as he was brought back by the pyramid-like structure of the city. The academy truly is a symbol of power and beauty. It's an incredible sight. But Keigo knew his mission and would maintain low profile so that he wouldn't be noticed. As Hawks approached the school at the top of the island, Akiro Mikasugi strolled around the upper floors of the outdoors portion of the academy, ruffling his disguised hair as he tried to think. Hawks could see the man seemingly talking to himself from the skies, wondering what he was walking around for without anyone accompanying him and just mouthing out loud. Maybe a little eavesdropping wouldn't hurt, the winged hero mused, as he shed a few feathers, with one landing in the back of the blue-haired man's white shirt. Maybe I'll find some answers this way. Keigo began using his feathers to listen in on what Mikasugi may be saying. Man, I wish I could get the word out of what's happening here, but how? The student council has been breathing down my neck. Mikasugi sighed and rubbed the back of his neck, arching, of the blue-haired man's white shirt. Maybe I'll find some answers this way. Keigo began using his feathers to listen in on what Mikasugi may be saying. Man, I wish I could get the word out of what's happening here, but how? The student council has been breathing down my neck. Mikasugi sighed and rubbed the back of his neck, arching it upward a bit. Noticing a few feathers had dropped from the sky, the undercover spy looked up and spotted an unlikely source for help. Japan's number 3 hero. Well, count my lucky stars, he said in his normal tone, waving a feather back and forth to catch Hawk's eyes. Mikasugi remembered doing some research on heroes and caught so. That is sincere and genuine in his work, not letting fame get to his head. Mikasugi knew that he could trust him. Once it looked like he got a look from the winged hero, he put the feather up to his lips, speaking softly under his breath. If you can hear what I'm saying, I need you to follow me somewhere and make sure you're not seen by anyone, especially the student council president and her closest allies. We need to have a serious talk. Meet me at the burned mansion of Ishin Matwa tonight at 2137. No earlier and no later. Hawk's eyes widened further, seeing something was definitely afoot, and made a couple of quick flaps with his wings, hoping not to attract too much attention but acknowledged the scruffy teacher's plea as he made a beeline out of the city's airspace. The Ishin Matwa mansion, huh? I wonder what info this guy can provide me with. For some reason, he seems desperate. Maybe this can help get us to a quick resolution on those tremors. Hawks pondered his next move before he looked down below, gazing upon the streets of Han City. He knew about the explosion at the mansion. The stories say that the explosion was caused by an accidental gas leak, seemingly a cover-up. The case to uncover this has yet to be solved, as most of the evidence was lost in the fire. The only other knowledge that Hiraniana is that Ishin's daughter, Ryuko Matwa, is the only surviving family member who disappeared before any questioning. This may be beneficial to finally solving the case. So getting to, welp, might as well enjoy my mini vacation for the time being, Hawk said with glee as he jumped down to the streets, spending the next couple hours just casually walking to the Ishin mansion. He liked to occasionally walk instead of flying around, just to fully immerse himself in this new land. It was exactly 2137 as he was setting foot in front of the mansion. Keigo had a full view of the massacre of this land. The fire had taken everything. The only remains were pieces of charred wood lying around, and piles of concrete. Damn, this place has seen better days, Keigo spoke to himself. You're right on time. I mistook you for the type to be fashionably late, Mikusugi spoke as he appeared from behind the shadows cast by a pillar that still stood amongst the wreckage. Well, I do like to subvert people's expectations every now and then, Hawks jokes before putting on a straight face. So, what's the scoop? Mikusugi opens his shirt and the nipples glow. He straightens his posture and combs his hair back, followed by a gasp of ecstasy. For starters, let me introduce myself. I'm Ikuro Mikusugi. Damn dude, why are you stripping? Hawks shouts as he places his hand up. Shield his eyes. The better question is why aren't you? Well, to be fair, you wouldn't know the answer, but let me get to the point. I'm an agent of Nuyuudist Bialak, Mikusugi said with flamboyant flair, letting his hair wave with the wind, his body sparkling once again. How is his hair blowing? I'm feeling no breeze over here, Keigo questioned with a confused look on his face. An organization set up by the late Dr. Matwa. We're trying to stop the tyranny of the Kiryuin family and their plans for world domination. Mikusugi continued abruptly. Huh? It's a long explanation that'll blow your mind. So let's head down somewhere where we can chat. There's a sublab that we can still get into. Mikusugi motions behind him and Hawks follows. What people don't know about the Kiryuins is that in every piece of Revok's clothing, they've sewn life fibers into them. They're living, sentient beings that pose a lot of trouble. Whoa. Slow down, Casanova. I don't follow. Mikusugi sighs and whips out a still intact drawing board. Well, time to teach you what I know. After getting the whole explanation out there for Hawks and the hero coming to grasp the newly found information, it had the winged number 3 hero quivering. He was shocked that such things could be true. But there's one thing he did know for certain. Mikusugi wasn't lying. If that's the case, we're in big trouble, aren't we? Hawks wondered aloud. But you mentioned that one girl with the Kamui, Dr. Matwa daughter, Ryuko. Yes, she is able to wear the Kamui Senketsu. Senketsu was made by Dr. Matwa. When Ryuko and her Kamui power up, their power skyrockets. And as far as we know, the only one who can wear or hear Senketsu is Ryuko. This is crucial since only life fibers can fight other life fibers. Mikusugi then hands Hawks a picture of Ryuko for visual reference. Wait. She can heart this thing? Yes, though it's hard to explain. Part of it is that Senketsu has part of her central nervous system's DNA spliced into him, or at Least that's what Dr. Matoa told me. Ryuko hasn't had Senketsu for long, and I've yet to tell her about that, Mikasugi noted. But I'm worried about the Kiryuins more than anything. If Satsuki and her mother Ragyo complete their ambitions, it's the end of humanity. It's mind-boggling that two girls could have that much power to cause those tremors from earlier. You'd think that'd be something only All Might could pull off. Hawks trailed off for a moment before continuing. Isn't Ryuko in danger if she remains at Hanji Academy? Shouldn't we try to move her somewhere more safe like, I dunno, UA High School with their hero course? I've never thought of something like that, but it could give Ryuko a chance to grow and get her out of Han City. I'd like her to stay as far away from the influence of the Kiryuins as much as possible. Do you think if we explain things to the higher-ups, we could try to get her into the school? Mikasugi asked. Based on what you've told me, I doubt there'd be any hesitancy to pull off a move like that. We don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to head out. Let the safety commission know, and then relay the message to Principal Nizu at UA High. As Hawk stands up to leave, Akiro clasps Hawk's left shoulder as he turns around to face his newly found ally. Thank you, Hawks. Please let me know what the commission says, and as soon as we get word on the transfer being good to go, we can get Ryuko to UA. We can meet back here tomorrow night at the same time. Considering that you fly over, both nod in agreement as Hawks flies out of the underground lab and into the vast night sky, disappearing among the stars. We're counting on you, Hawks, Mikasugi murmurs. As the day draws to a close, Hawks delivers all of the intel about Nudist Beach and the plans of the Kiryuins to the Hero Public Safety Commission. A call is then placed to Nizu, the principal of UA High, to initiate a meeting between him and the Public Safety Commission. Early morning rises with Hawks and the administrator strolling inside UA High. The building was relatively empty, which was expected since the semester had not yet begun. However, it was the exact opposite for Hanji, as no Tardy's Day was taking place within the same hour with hundreds of thousands of students fighting to get to their classes. It felt strange to wander in the large hallways when he was used to being in such crowded areas. But he was not here to sightsee, since he was making his way to Principal Nizu's office. Good morning, Nizu. You're looking well groomed today, Hawks greeted as the two entered the principal's office. Why thank you, Hawks. Please, have a seat, you too, Nizu responds. Now, what would you like to discuss with me? For the next half hour, Hawks begins explaining the history of life fibers and the Kiryuin family. Life fibers? I do remember research being conducted on them. I thought it was discontinued many years ago. Turns out that the Kiryuins like to play by their own rules. They've continued to experiment on them for their own benefit. What's worse is that there are bits of life fibers sewn into every piece of Revox clothing. Hawks responded. What? Oh dear. Revox is one of the biggest clothing. Hawks responded. What? Oh dear. Revox is one of the biggest clothing companies in the whole world. Nizu's hands tensed up in shock, realizing the scale of danger that the Kiryuins had been hiding under everyone's noses. Right now, they're developing Goku uniforms for the students, which are essentially clothes composed of 10, 20, or 30% life fibers based on rank, granting the user enhanced strength and extra abilities. Another project of theirs are the Kamui, which is made of 100% life fibers. The Kiryuin family, plans to use those weapons in their quest of taking over the world and turning people into clothing for the life fibers. Ryuko Matoa is the only one on our side that possesses a Kamui of her own, and possibly the only one who can stop them. Hawks then slides the picture of Ryuko that Mikasugi gave him yesterday. We can't risk having Ryuko be more of a target by the Kiryuins than she already is at Hanji Academy. Our best option is to initiate a student transfer proposal and bring her here. Nizu sits for a moment, taking in all of the information and processing it. Just their luck, another problem. They already have their hands tied with All for One, with All Might growing weaker as the days pass by. Now, a crisis lurks on a scale that can affect life across the globe. The wall of problems continued to pile on for the heroes, but it was part of the package with being a hero. They weren't going to back down from it, no matter the stakes. Thank you for this information, You too. It is greatly. Information. You too. It is greatly appreciated. Since Ryuko Matoi is the key to stopping this crisis, I will move forward with your student transfer proposal, Nizu says with a nod. Great. Now, all that's left is to convince the Madame Dominatrix of Hanji to agree. Hawks responds, clenching his fist with enthusiasm. I can get back to Mikasugi on it, and he'll handle the rest, I'm sure. I wish you the best of luck then, Hawks. We have a long road ahead of us, Nizu says, reaching his hand out and Hawks returning the gesture as they both shake on it. So this is into chapter 1. Look forward to the next part. Other than that, it's been your boy Peace. Like, comment, and subscribe, and look forward to the next video.